Shalom Aleichem, sweetest friend. This year should be a special schus for China Rachel, Bas Gittel Genendel, for Shnei Tzar Israel, and for Rav Avram Yosef ben Chana, and Harav Yishayahu Mordechai Ezra ben Rachel Dvorah, Miriam Bas Chaya, Eliezer Moshe Cohen ben Sharna Mariam, for Chaim Dov ben Ritza Shoshana, and Rachel Fradel, Bas Dvorah Peril. They should all have Brios Hashlema. We're discussing the Siyata Dishmaya, the union of Birkas Hanehenin. This is based on a shir given by Hagon Rav Ariyav Ozer Shlita, Parashas Veschanan, in the year, Parashas Ekev, in the year Tafshin Ayin Hey, 3 years ago. It says, Vayita Eshel beVe'ersheva v'yikra Shem b'Shem Hashem Kelolam, that Avram planted in Eshel in Be'ersheva, and he called out in the name of God. So the Gemara tells us, brought in Rashi, Amar Reish Lakish, Al Tikri Vayikra Ela Vayakri. Don't read that he called, read that he made call out. In other words, he called God's name out. He had other people call out God's name. Shehikri Avram Alamit Shehikri Avram Avinu L'Shmo Shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu B'Feh Kol Over V'Shav. That Avram Avinu called God's name out in the mouth of everybody who passed by. Ketzad Lachar Shachlu V'Shas Samdu Levarach Amalem Achim Shaliach Altem Mishalakei Olam Achaltem Hodu V'Shibchu Baruch Hu L'Misha Amar V'Haya HaOlam. After they ate, Avram Avinu said they wanted to say thanks very much. Give him a bracha. Instead of say thank you, want to give him a bracha, it's even better. And then he said to them, what, did you eat from me? You ate from the Rabbanu Shalom. And he started telling them about Hashem. It's basically what Chabad does today, so they have a nice precedent. In the Gemara, at the beginning of Paraketz and Varachim is a Shakal V'Tarya. How do we know that it's Birkas Hanehenin Ba'achila? And the Gemara concludes that it's a svara, that a person is not allowed to be nene min ha'olam hazeh below bracha. And it says there further that kol ha'olam nene min ha'olam hazeh below bracha mo'al. If anybody is nene from this world without a bracha, he is over on the Yisr Chas Shalom of Me'ilah. And it also says there, Kilu nana mikachi shamayim. It's as if he's nana mikachi shamayim. It's a kilu goizel hakadosh baruch hu v'knesses Yisrael. He's stealing from God and from the Jewish people. The opinion of the Ritva there is that this svara, that the Gemara tells us that Asr Ladim Mishanim Al Hazeh Below Bracha, is only talking about the bracha shalifnei achila, below bracha shalachareh. But in the Rashba it's mavur that even bracha shalachareh, this svara applies l'chora. So is Pashtus Divrei Gemara Besota, because Avram Avinu was calling out the name of God after they ate, and that's Mikorach HaSvara. That's where Avram Avinu was coming from. So it's not a kasha on the other opinion that the Gemara is telling us what's Mechayev us today. What Avram Avinu did is another story. It's Derech Eretz, also to bless after. And to tell them to make a bracha before, they're not into that. They didn't get anything yet. First he gives them tita, and then they feel good. Al Kol Panim, we have the two opinions. One is that it's talking about only before. The other opinion is that it's talking about even after. The rewrites in Tosin Brachas Memtes Amid Beis Dibur Maschut Meir that Lein Shir Shtia L'Chi of Bracha Achrona, one should be machmir and make a bracha even bepachos mimalo lugmav. And Rabbi Akiva Eger was already matzrich iyun. How is it shaykh to be machmir, to make a bracha even bepachos mimalo lugmav? We have a klal of safek bracha lahakal. Elsewhere we find shitas ri that besafek bracha shelefanea or machmir levarech mipnei hasafek as well. So is brought in Tosis Tafi Beis Amid Aleph B'Shmo. the suffix of the Gemara, if a person started the bracha adaita the chamra, he was thinking of the bracha on wine, or he said wine, and then siyem b'deshichra, and then he concluded with beer. Is that motzi him when it was beer, when he started adaita the chamra, or no, he's not yotzei, he has to make a bracha again. So Shitas Hari is that since we don't know what the halacha is, he has to be machmir and make a bracha again on the shichra and the beer, make the shahakal. For Magen Avram, Reish Tes Sif Cotton Gimel, we have a klal at Safek Brachas Lahakal. And for Rabbi Kiva Eger, Bagilyan Ashas, with Shulchan Aruch Sham, based on the Maharsha, in Psachim Daf Kuf Beis Amud Aleph, who learn that Birkas Hanehenin, you don't say Safek Brachas Lahakal, since Asr Lehanas Below Bracha, and therefore Misafek Yesh Lahachmir Ulevarech Shuv. You should make the bracha again. Misafek, because you're not allowed to be nanim in olam hazeh below bracha. If you're worried about a bracha levatala, Rabbi Kiva Eger was already romes that since it's usher to eat in this matzav, so the din is mechayiv a person latzis min hasafek. So how can you call the bracha levatala? Even if klapi shmaya galia that he already made the bracha, but it's not levatala because he's mechayiv to make one now. And that's what he writes in the Tshuvas in Chelek Aleph Siman Chav Hey, that in Safek brachas da'oraisa like brachas hamazon, we pass that you do make the bracha again, and we're not choshish for Safek bracha isra bracha levatola. That the das kama poskim there's an isra of losisa, because if you're mechuyev to make a bracha, there's no problem of bracha levatola. And this teretz the Magen Avram, who says that the Magen Avram's kasha, how do you make a bracha again? Safek brachas lahakal, and we saw that Rabbi Kiva Eger was mitaretz that it's not a problem since you're not allowed to eat without being not allowed to be nana without making a bracha. You're not allowed to eat without making a bracha. So memela you have to be machmir. So answered the Evan Ha'ozer, this kasha the Magen Avram, that according to the Ri, we don't say Safek brachas lekula unless we're talking about birchas hamitzvahs v'chadoime, but birchas hanehenin sfeikan lahachmir. Why? Lefisha aser lehanos min ha'olam hazeh beloy bracha uvidas harif, who holds the Safek hagemara sham lekula. In other words, the Rif says that if you start off with the chamra and the siyam and the shichra, you don't make a bracha again. He holds Safek brachas lahakal afilu b'birchas hanehenin, and a person's allowed to eat misafek. So we can explain that he learns that the chi of Birkas Hanehenin is a mitzvah kisha'ar mitzvahs derabanan, and therefore misafek he is not mechuyev bebracha k'chol sfeika derabanan lekula. However, the Ri holds that they make it like an iser because of the din mi'ila that the Gemara speaks about and gezel, and therefore since we're dealing with an iser and not just a mitzvah, sfeiko lahachmir. However, Rabbi Kiva Eger in the Gilyon of Shulchan Aruch learns that even the Rif agrees that it has a din iser. The reason he's mekel not to make the bracha again, if you have a Safek bracha, Birchas Hanehenin, is that even on the iser level, it's only a derabanan, and therefore you're mekel. But we have to understand Shitas Ri, Sfeika derabanan lekula, bein b'mitzvahs, bein b'isurim. So the Rif, we understand, who says to be mekel because we're only dealing with the derabanan. But how do we understand the Ri, who says to be machmir? Sfeika derabanan lekula, the rule is bein b'mitzvahs, bein b'isurim. Parenthetically, most Rishonim hold that the bracha shelafanea is only derabanan. And they were tamei on Rabbeinu Chananel, who writes that it's d'oraisa. There's a Pnei Yehoshua, famous one in Brachas Lamed Hey, who asks that b'chol makom svara d'oraisa. So therefore, Birchas Hanehenin should be mechuyev me'atara machmetz svara she'asur la'adam lehanos me'olam hazeh v'loy bracha. But the Tzlach answered very well that the Gemara says sometimes lamali kras svarahi is dafka b'dinei mishpatim like a motzi mechaver al v'rai at the beginning of the parak of Bavakam v'chayotze b'zeh. But mikorach svara, you can't be mechayiv mitzvahs without a pasuk. We have a lot of mitzvahs that are a piseichel, but you still need a pasuk. When does the Gemara say that you don't need a lama likra svara? That's b'dinei mishpatim, like the specific laws, like amotzim mechavrel v'raya, that you can derive logically. But to be mechayiv a mitzvah, for that you need a pasuk. So therefore, the fact that there's a svara to make a Birkas Hanehenin, that's not enough to make it d'oraisa. And then we're left with our kasha. How can you say that Birkas Hanehenin? How can you say that the person, the Ri, who says that a person is machmir, has to be machmir? In the case of Safek Birkas Hanehenin, it's only a derabanan, even if it's an isser. It's also only derabanan. It's fake Safek derabanan lekula. The Stipler in the Kilas Yankiv Brachas Simin Hey explains B'das Hari based on what we say in the first parak of Beitza, that Safek derabanan b'davar sheyesh lo matirin azlinan l'chumra, that if you have Safek derabanan but it's something that's going to become mutter in the future, we go l'chumra. Why? What's the svara? That tochlenu be'isser tochlenu beheter. Instead of eating it be'isser, eat it beheter. Lama l'stabech. Why get yourself in trouble? Why eat it be'isser when you can just as well eat it beheter? So just wait around until it becomes mutter. So as long as there's no big hefsed or terech meruba, we tell you to eat it beheter. So too, misafek, a person should not eat until he makes the bracha. And like we said, there's no problem with bracha levatala because the din is machayivim to make a bracha. So there's no problem bracha levatala. And ach tochlenu b'isr tochlenu beheter, better eat it beheter. So it's davar yesh lamatir, and you wait until it becomes mutter. And here also, you make a bracha and then it becomes mutter. But das harif, that it's a mitzvah d'Rabbanan and not an isser, there's no reason to be machmir. But if you hold that it's an isser, there is the reason to be machmir. Ach tochlenu b'isr tochlenu beheter. The Rif will say that mitzvah d'Rabbanan, you're not machmir only be'isser. So in mitzvahs, we only find the chumrah of davar sheish lo matirin be'isurim, and not b'mitzvahs. And also, since, according to the Rif, the discussion is not about the isser achila, but rather it is merely on the chiyuv bracha, if so, it's not shaykh to be mechayev a person to make a bracha kedei listalik min hasafek ad tochlenu be'isser tochlenu beheter, because al zeh gufa anu danim. That's exactly the question. Is he mechuyev to make the bracha or not? That's still b'safek. If it's begeder isser, we could say that b'safek. If it's mutter for him to eat or not, so eat it beheter with a bracha, since the nidon is on the achila, and that achila you could do b'derech heter. Why should you do the achila b'derech isser? But that's not the nidon. The nidon is not on the achila. The nidon is on the bracha. Is a person chayiv to make the bracha or not? So you can't say ach tochlenu be'isser tochlenu beheter, because the discussion is, are you mechuyev in a bracha or not? If the was it Isser Achila? That's the question. So then we say, listen, why eat it? It might be Usser. Eat it when it's definitely Heter. But since the Nidon is on the Baracha, like it says in the Gemara that you're stealing, a person doesn't make a bracha, it's stealing. When Kadosh Baruch Hu Knesset Yisrael, there's machlokas there, some say it means you're stealing the bracha. The nidon here is on the bracha. Are you mechuyev to make the bracha, or are you not mechuyev to make the bracha? So there's no reason to be mechayev you to make the bracha. If it was on the achila, then we have the rule. Instead of eating it be'isser, eat it beheter. That's not the question. The question is, are you chayev in a bracha? And the answer is, we don't know, so don't make a bracha. So it comes out then that the Rif holds that the chiyuv bracha is begeder mitzvah. That was the first thing that we said. That's the reason he doesn't say ach tochlenu bis tochlenu beheter, because this inyan of davar sheish lo matirin that we saw is only talking about isurim. But according to the Rif here, it's not a din of isur, it's a begeder mitzvah, and therefore misafek he's not mechuyev. Whereas according to the Ri, it's begeder isur, and therefore misafek is chayev levarech sharei yesh lo matirin leisur zayidei bracha ad kan divrei akilas yankiv hamisukim. That's the sweet mahalach of the Stipler, who explains that according to the Re, it's together Isser, and therefore Misafik Chayav Levarech. Instead of eating it be'Isser, eat it be'Heter. And according to the Rif, it's together Mitzvah, and therefore Misafik, you're not Mechuyev. Rabbi Kiva Eger in the Gilyon Hashas was Metaretz Shitas Hari, who says you're Machmer Misafik. And he's mitzayin to his kasha and Daf Mem Tes Amud Aleph that we find that the Re holds in two places that we go to Chumrah, like we said before, the Safik Birkas Hanehenin. So I understand Bracha Shelafaneha. We can say that it's aser lehanos below bracha. So misafek, you're not allowed to eat, and therefore you should make the bracha mipnei hasafek. But like a bracha shalacharea, the chiyuv is begeder mitzvah below iser, and the kasha is that safek brachas lekula, because now we're not talking about an iser anymore. So Rabbi Kiva Eger was metaretz the bracha rishona. Bracha rishona, he holds that it's an isser, and he doesn't want you to be over on an isser. So therefore, he said that you have to make the bracha. So that's all the bracha rishona. But the bracha achrona, that we said about the malol lugmav, that a person who drinks even pachas malol lugmav, he has to make a bracha achrona to be machmer shitas hari. What does that mean? Safek brachas lahakal. And don't tell me that we're talking about isser, because it's not. It's a mitzvah. Bracha lachar achil is a mitzvah. So the mahalach we're going to go on is the b'siyata d'shmaya, is to explain shitas hari al pi dvar v'makom acher b'li neder. But first, we're going to be marchiv be'ikr geder chiyuv birchas hanehenin u'memela rav chashmaitza. So we had a chakira here. Begeder chiyuv birchas hanehenin. Is the yesod chiyuv birchas hanehenin a mitzvah or an iser? Is it a mitzvah or an iser? We said that according to the Rif, it's a mitzvah. According to the Re, it's an iser. L'chaora, there are a number of hochachot. There are a number of proofs that it's begeder mitzvah, like the Achronim bring, ayin emek bracha, dine birchas hanehenin, and also minchas shlomo in the Siman Yud Ches. From that it says Baal Keri, kodem shebetlua letkanas Ezra, v'varech al hamazon la'acharav v'loy lefanav. That a Baal Keri, before they were about the Kanas Ezra, is only allowed to make a bracha after eating, but not before eating. Before eating, you shouldn't make a bracha. He's a Baal Keri. Chayotze b'zeh po'alim ha'osim b'melacha yitzal Baal Habayis, that workers who are working by a Baal Habayis, the mitina de Gemara, they don't make a bracha before eating. So from this we see that a person who can't make a bracha just doesn't. A Baal Keri, Pashid, he's a Baal Keri, can't make a bracha. Metarnished benshin, I think so. Can't make a bracha. A poel, imagine the musar avodah, the work ethic that they had back then, that the person's working, he doesn't want to waste 5 seconds from his employer's time. So, it's beginning the Gemara today, it's assumed that he lets you do the 5 seconds. So, a person who can't make a bracha eats without a bracha. So it's mashma should be yisod adavar. Ha bracha he begeder mitzvah, and if a person is anus milakaima, he's pater. If it would be an iser, lehanos below bracha, Why would it be mutter for a Balkari and for Poland to eat without a bracha? Who's forcing them to eat? Therefore, you see that it's begether mitzvah from the fact that a person who can't do it, can't make a bracha, eats on a bracha without a bracha. And they also prove from the halacha in Yeridei and Shemim Aleph, Sif Aleph al Pibrachas Yitzayin Amid Beis, we paskin ba'onem, that he's pater mikol mitzvahs, est on a bracha, he eats without a bracha. This person is a relative who died before Avelis, he eats without a bracha. Hagam shasur lalechol pas below netilas yadayim. So he's not allowed to eat pas. There's an isra achilas pas without netilas yadayim, so he has to wash his hands. But he eats without a bracha. It's a weird thing. He eats without a bracha. Weird, because we're not used to it. We should never be owning him. Either Rabbi, nobody should die. I'm in favor. So the thing is that a person, in order not to be over on an isser, what does he do? He doesn't wash. He doesn't make a bracha. He washes, but he doesn't make a bracha. So the another raya that chiyuv Birkas Hanehenin is a mitzvah, and it's not an isser. If it was an isser, then he wouldn't be allowed to eat. But you see, he's allowed to eat, and he just has to wash because that's isser already. And like the beer of the Evan Ha'ozer and Rabbi Kiva Eger b'shita Suri, shebesafik also lehanas below bracha. Even though we paskin, even though we don't paskin like this, we paskin like it says in Shulchan Aruch in a number of places, in Kuf Samach Zayin, Reish Tes, and Reish Yud, shebesafik muter lechol, but we find the Richaver b'Sefer Orchos Chaim and Orchos Seudah Siman Yotes writes lahedya that b'safek asur lehanos below bracha. And he says, hechiena below bracha. Has it shaykh to be nana without a bracha? So you see that he holds that it's a din in isur lehanos below bracha. The reason that you b'safek, you make a bracha is because it's asur to be nana below bracha. Then we have a kasha. Mibal kari upoalim, v'onan, v'onem. In all those three cases, we see that it's a mitzvah. If it was an isser, they wouldn't be allowed to eat. We see it's a mitzvah. So what's pshat? That he's holding that you make the bracha misafik because you can't be over on an isser. So it's true that linyan polim, the gir sagonim, the rif, and other rishonim is that you make a bracha lefneim. So you can say shagam l'shitas hariv orchos chayim. That's the correct girsa. Even though it's a dochak that the Ri doesn't have Tos's girsa, he dafka has the girsa of the gonim the rif. Okay, so we can be nitchak that way maybe. Linyan onein sadas orchos chayim din avelos yud aleph she'asur loy lecho b'loy bracha, because how can you be unanim and olam has a b'loy bracha, and that it says. Einam Mavarach Veinam Mazamin, he's talking about something else, not about Achila. Because Achila, B'loi Bracha, is Mamish Nidon Ki Isser. Like Achila B'loi Natilas Yadayim. So we'll make a Shidduch and we'll say that the Ri goes with him. That the Oni makes a Bracha al Achila Lefaneh. Now it also appeared Das Harash Mishans into my Aleph Dalid. Without that, it says, it's talking about being motzi other people. When it says an onen can't make a bracha, it's talking about being motzi other people. But he himself is now allowed to eat without a bracha. So what can we say? We can say beseder. So we answered the onen question. The reason he's also not eating without a bracha. He just can't be motzi others. We still have a kasha from the Balkari. The Balkari only makes Birkas says Birkas Hamazon. He doesn't make a bracha l'faneh. So if it's Isser, how do we allow a Balkari to eat the Isser? Muchach that it's a mitzvah. So das is unser Arbeit, that's our avoda b'siyata d'shmaya b'li neder in the next shir, to try to explain, and hopefully we'll be zoche to explain it. V'lerot niflaot mamash mitorat Hashem tmima. Zoche lilmodu lamid lishma v'las l'kaims kol v'esam terasoi. Have amen v'amen. So until next time, shalom, shalom, sweetest and most beloved friend.